Hello everyone, a very pleasant day to you. Vice President Shettima arrives Guinea Conakry to attend the inauguration of President-elect Mamadi Doumbouya. Federal government bans sand mining on River Niger. And in River State High Court stops impeachment proceedings against Governor Fubara. A very good day to you and welcome to First Nest News Port Harcourt. I am Becky Usoro. Now the news in details. Vice President Kashim Shettima has arrived Conakry, the capital of Guinea, for the inauguration of President-elect Mamadi Doumbouya. Vice President Shettima, whose official aircraft landed at Ahmed Sekou Touré International Airport, was received by top government officials led by Guinea's Minister of Finance, Murano Souma, and Nigerian's Charge Affairs in Guinea, Ibrahim Haladu. The Vice President is representing President Bola Tinubu at the official ceremony. The inauguration of President Doumbouya followed his victory in the December 2025 general elections, signaling the formal and a 4-year military transition. Vice President Shettima's attendance at the inauguration affirmed Nigeria's leadership role within the economic community of West African states, ECOWAS, and its commitment to the restoration of constitutional order across the sub-region. Away from that story, the federal government has announced ban on mining of sand, 10-kilometer radius in River Niger, to protect the first and second Niger bridge. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, disclosed this in Asaba during the commissioning of the second Niger Bridge closed-circuit television CCTV cameras monitoring center. Says the decision was taken by the Federal Executive Council as part of efforts to protect critical federal infrastructure across the country. According to him, tolling on the second Niger Bridge will not begin until all access routes at Anambra and Delta sections are completed. He added that the CCTV monitoring center was to ensure adequate security along the federal highway. Umahi directed the police command in Delta to ensure implementation of the ban as well as arresting offenders. In another development, the Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, and his defense counterpart, General Christopher Musa, retired, has met to strengthen national security strategies through intelligence sharing and deployment of cutting-edge technologies for a safer Nigeria. At the meeting, they reaffirmed government's commitment to a stronger, more coordinated national security framework through enhanced collaboration amongst concerned authorities. Both ministers pledged to strengthen inter-ministerial cooperation to address evolving security threats across the country. According to the head of Press and Media Relations in the Ministry of Interior, Mary Ali, Dr. Tunji Ojo appreciated the Defense Minister for the visitation and the confidence President Bola Tinubu has in the minister. Tunji Ojo, however, warned against rivalry and territorialism among security institutions, stressing that Nigerians were more concerned about safety and performance than ministerial boundaries. Away from that story, the federal government has established a national task force on clinical governance and patient safety to strengthen service delivery and improve health outcomes in the country. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, announced this in Abuja on his verified X handle at Mohammed Pate. According to him, the initiative is in furtherance of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for the health sector. Pate said the task force was created to support development and operationalization of sustainable clinical governance and patient safety structures, standards, and accountability mechanisms across Nigeria's health system. The coordinating health minister explained that the National Task Force will serve as a strategic platform for integrating quality and patient safety in all aspects of health service delivery. According to him, the initiative aligns with global calls by the World Health Organization, the World Bank, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and the Lancet Global Health Commission for low and middle income countries to prioritize high quality, people-centered care beyond access alone. Moving on, The federal government has formally commenced the implementation of Nigeria's National Intellectual Property Policy and Strategy (NIPPS) with the inauguration of 8 implementation committees, marking a significant step towards strengthening the country's innovation and creative economy. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony in Abuja, the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, said the development signals a shift from policy formulation to decisive and coordinated action. She explained that the NIPPs approved by the Federal Executive Council emerged from an extensive and inclusive process involving ministries, departments and agencies, the private sector, academia, the creative industry and international development partners. Dr. Oduwole stated that the focus of government is now on ensuring that the policy delivers measurable economic benefits to Nigerians by fostering innovation, supporting enterprise growth, strengthening research outputs, and enhancing national competitiveness. She stressed that implementation must be practical and results-driven, leading to modernized institutions, updated intellectual property laws, efficient digital systems, improved enforcement mechanisms, and clearer routes for the commercialization of ideas and creative works. The minister reaffirmed the commitment of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to its coordinating role and urged committee members to approach implementation as a core economic reform priority under the Renewed Hope agenda. Away from that story, the Nigerian Tourism Development Authority (NTDA) and the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria (FAN) has initiated plans to restore dedicated tourism information desks at major airports nationwide as part of efforts to unlock Nigerians' vast tourism potential. The decision was announced during a courtesy visit by the Director General of NTDA, Dr. Olayiwola Awakun, to the Managing Director and Chief Executive of FAN, Olubunmi Kuku, at the FAN headquarters in Lagos. Dr. Awakun described airports as the first and most critical point of contact for international visitors, stressing that they serve as vital gateways to Nigerians' tourism experience. He noted that tourism thrives on movement and connectivity, adding that FAN plays a central role in shaping the initial impression visitors form about the country. According to him, Nigeria is sitting on a gold mine of tourism opportunities across all regions, ranging from rich cultural heritage and breathtaking natural landscapes to ecotourism and adventure destinations. He emphasized the need for strong storytelling, accurate data, and seamless travel experiences to reposition the country as a world-class tourism destination. Away from that story, Major General Ibukunle Ademola Ajose, the 10th General Officer commanding GOC 8th Division, Nigerian Army, has formally handed over leadership to his successor, Major General Benga Paul Guna, who becomes the 11th GOC and Commander, Sector 2 Joint Task Force Northwest Operation, Handari Daji. In his maiden address, Major General Kogna reaffirmed his commitment to consolidating the achievements of his predecessor and advancing the division's mission to reinforce security and stability across the Northwest. He highlighted his readiness to apply his experience, strategic insight, and resolve to strengthen operations and inspire public confidence amid ongoing security challenges in the region. He also expressed appreciation to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Wadi Shaibu, for the trust and responsibility placed on him. Before his appointment, Major General Kogna served as Director of Civil Military Affairs at the Army Headquarters, Department of Civil Military Affairs, and earlier as Deputy Chief Operations at the Army Headquarters Department of Army Operations. The handover ceremony at the 8th Division Headquarters in Sokoto featured traditional decoration and presentation of the division's flag to the incoming GOC. Moving on to Rivers State, a Rivers State High Court sitting in Oyibo local government area has issued an interim injunction halting steps connected to the impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu. In the ruling, the court restrained the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martin Samiwuli, the Clerk of the House, and other parties from sending any correspondence or documents to the Chief Judge of Rivers State relating to the impeachment process. The court also barred the Chief Judge, Justice Simon Amadi, from receiving, considering, or acting on any request, resolution, or articles of impeachment from the defendants for the purpose of constituting a panel to investigate the alleged misconduct of the governor and his deputy pending further proceedings. The presiding judge, Justice F.A. Fiberisima, granted the order while ruling on a motion ex parte in two separate suits filed by Governor Fubara and Deputy Governor Odu. Justice Fiberisima further granted leave for the claimants to serve the interim order and originating processes as well as subsequent court documents on the defendants through substitute means at the Rivers State House of Assembly quarters. The court also directed that the processes be served on the Chief Judge through any staff member at his chambers within the High Court premises. Moving on to Delta State, the Delta State Bureau of Orientation and Communications has pledged to collaborate with the National Identity Management Commission on word-to-word awareness and sensitization for National Identification Number NIN registration across the state. Director General of the Bureau, Dr. Fred Ogenesive, gave the assurance in Asaba during an advocacy visit by the Delta State Coordinator of NIMC, praising President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for directing NIMC to intensify NIN registration nationwide. He described the exercise as critical to effective governance, security, and development. He noted that NIN registration benefits both the federal and state governments, stressing that it had become a key planning tool and emerging universal identifier, including for tax and population data. According to him, Governor Sheriff Oborowori will also leverage accurate data to strengthen planning and service delivery in Delta State. In another development, in a major win for counter-insurgency operations, troops of the Joint Task Force Operation Handin Kai have killed several terrorists in Adamawa and Borno states. The acting media information officer of the task force, Lieutenant Solomon Atokolo, said the development followed the falling of coordinated terrorist attacks across parts of the northeastern states. He said the troops inflicted heavy losses on fleeing terrorists during follow-up operations. According to him, the general area was subsequently cleared and scanned for improvised explosive devices and booby traps to ensure civilian and troops' safety. In another development, operatives of the Department of State Services DSS in Niger State have rescued two pastors and a church member abducted by armed bandits in Kaduna State. The victims, Idi Buhari, Emmanuel Jacob, and Suleiman Adamu, were kidnapped at the Gwagwada area of Chikun local government area while traveling through Kugozi to Sakin Power in Niger State to officiate a wedding ceremony. Receiving the rescued pastors, chairman of the Christian Association of Nigerian Khan in the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory, Joseph Haya, said the victims were safely rescued from the bush by DSS operatives during ongoing security operations in Niger State. He commended the DSS for what he described as courageous, timely, and selfless service to the nation, noting that the successful rescue brought immense relief to the church and families of the victims. He said the safe return of the adopted pastors had renewed hope that criminal elements could be defeated through sustained and coordinated security efforts. The Khan chairman noted that insecurity could only be effectively tackled through cooperation among security agencies, faith leaders, and the general public, warning that criminals thrive when communities are divided. We now move on to the foreign scene. Kampala remained tense and unusually quiet as Ugandans waited for the final results of the presidential election, with uncertainty gripping the capital. Provisional figures from about half of polling stations showed long-serving President Yoweri Museveni leading with more than 70% of the vote, while his main challenger, opposition leader and former pop star Bobi Wine, trailed on around 19%. Bobi Wine had hoped to end Museveni's four-decade rule, but the election unfolded under heavy military deployment, with tight security surrounding Wine's home near Kampala. Armored vehicles and soldiers on the streets have added to public unease. We now move on to sports. Arne Slot said he would welcome Mohamed Salah back as Liverpool even if he had 15 attackers, as Egypt forward nears a return from the African Cup of Nations. Salah is set to play in Egypt's third-place playoff match against Nigeria in Morocco. His impending return has been a major talking point after he took aim at the club in an explosive interview in early December. Salah accused Liverpool of throwing him under the bus after he was benched for 3 games in a row and said he had no relationship with manager Slot. But he appeared as a substitute in a 2-0 Premier League win against Brighton on December 13, providing assist, and Slot subsequently said the club had moved on. Slot, whose 4th-place team was struggling Burnley on Saturday, was asked at his pre-match press conference about Salah's return. That's all on the news this hour. I am Becky Usoro. Many thanks for watching. Bye for now.